Okay, hi, I'm Aaron Higgins from 1010music, and I'm here to show you our new products for Knobcon 2017. First, we've got a number of things that we're already shipping. This is Bitbox and effects box, which have now been shipping for 6 months and 12 months. Synthbox is now finished and fully shipping. So we're happy to show off the capability of using one piece of hardware that's available for both sampling, polyphonic synthesis, and live effects performance. You can interchange the synthesizer and the Bitbox by just doing a firmware download from our website and using a micro SD card to go back and forth from your computer. Yes, I mean, it's the same hardware. They do different things. You can really make use of the 4 audio outputs, the fact that it's got MIDI control, and the fact that this one has 20 different CV inputs for a variety of things, triggering samples, controlling wavetable voices, or for punching in and out of effects. Bitbox is a 24-bit sampler. You've got ability to trigger one-shots directly from the screen. You can also use the gate inputs, which correspond to these samples one for one. In addition to doing one-shots, you can also do loops, like I was just playing there earlier. You can get in and, as with Ableton, have things loop in bars or multiple bars, and clock and begin and quantize to an incoming clock via MIDI or via just analog clock. You can also record loops that way so that you could take your existing gear, record it in, and layer it up and build something that you could ultimately take from microSD over your computer and import into Ableton directly. So I've got a loop playing across the top that I recorded earlier, and I've got 3 different signals coming in for kick, snare, and hi-hat. And you can see if you jump in, like, you've got the ability to manipulate these things, like make the kick louder, change the pitch, turn off this one. And you can modulate these things, like you could say with this control here, I want to modulate the pitch. And with the external control like this one, you can then change pitch of all things at once. Yeah. Which is a little extreme, but just gives you a good illustration of what's possible. And these modulation inputs are assignable. You can do a variety of things: pitch, length, gain, and you get into some slicing features, which I'll save for another time. You can do some recycle style slice capturing and slice manipulation using CV. The next one is effects box. This has also been out for some time. It does live effects processing. What I'll do for you now is I will play an analog synthesizer an analog synth voice going into the effects box. And at its most basic level, you've got 16 different effects that you can punch in at any given moment, like a filter, and you can control via XY control, or via the knobs. There's distortion, and each of these can be sequenced, so I'll pull up a preset to illustrate what that looks like. And with a more extreme example like this, you can see how you really need to get sort of plug-in style sequenced effects that do some pretty cool things. And especially in the Eurorack world, bringing some new life into things is quite helpful because you're oftentimes dealing with very short patterns.
Do you have any inputs and outputs on this one?
So this particular one works in stereo input and stereo output. And the effects do apply a stereo field in a number of cases, like the pan and delay and reverb. So that's effects box, and that's option 2 for the firmware devices. Third, we have Synthbox. This is now shipping. This is firmware you can download against those other 2, Bitbox and effects box, and play something that sounds like this. As with other modules, the touchscreen control gives you a lot of direct access to things like various parameters. And you can modulate them from external sources, including CV inputs, and internal sources, including things like LFOs and envelopes. The basic voice architecture is that you've got 4 notes. It's polyphonic. You can do, with each voice, 2 wavetable voices and 1 oscillator. So you've got, like a lot of great plugins, the ability to play multiple things together and drop a sub-oscillator in it. You've got 2 filters and global effects that do flanging, distortion, and delay. The module can be controlled a number of different ways. You can control it from MIDI, which gives you the advantage of things like velocity and pitch bend and mod wheel. And you can also control it at the same time through CV. So you could do each of 4 voices available on a row of different jacks and have MIDI controlling the pitch and timing, and then different external sources controlling filter cutoff or some other form of modulation that you might like. Lastly, you can combine all of the voices into a single row of inputs so that you could have a unison mode. You could have one set of CVs controlling all 4 voices at once. And then there's also 2 different output modes, one of which is to have each voice available on each of the separate 4 outputs, which could then be combined with an external pan or external mixer into one super fat sounding voice. So what makes this unique is it's polyphonic and also could be stacked in such a way with the number of oscillators. You've got a total of 8 wavetable oscillators, 4 waveform oscillators, and if you use those all at once, you can create something that's pretty unconventional and fat. That's Synthbox, all available hardware today via a $600 purchase. The next product is Toolbox. Toolbox is brand new. Toolbox is going to be shipping in October. We're demonstrating it here at the show for the very first time. Toolbox is essentially a Swiss Army knife of functionality in one box. It's based on a similar approach as the other products. It has a touchscreen, it has knobs, but this grid is now almost entirely outputs. You've got 8 CV outputs, 8 digital gate outputs, and then 4 CV inputs for modulations and miscellaneous. In addition, you also have 4 MIDI outputs. So this is one of the first sequencers I've seen that does a combination of both in Eurorack. And so the demonstrations I will show to you will show all these things being used together via MIDI, via CV, and controlling simultaneously a voice via CV and being processed via the effects. Toolbox, you've got a variety of ways to control things. You've got a gate sequencer, which here you're controlling one of the percussion sounds. You can see how it advances by step. You can also control things via a piano roll style interface, which is what you're hearing in terms of the synthesizer. You're hearing multiple notes coming out via the MIDI interface. And then lastly, you can do bar graph style editing that's similar to what you might see in Reason, where you've got different steps that can be accessible from the touchscreen, or it can be adjusted and tweaked in via knobs, so a little bit of best of both worlds. Coarse control via screen and fine control via the knobs. Lastly, Toolbox has 4 LFOs. You can use those for just about anything you want to, and of course it's using a common clock scheme. And so you've got essentially 8 sequencers, 4 LFOs, and lots of fun all packed in one box. Toolbox has MIDI outputs, the others don't. The Toolbox has 8 CV outputs and 8 gate outputs, which is something that's not possible here. Whereas the Series 1 platform has 20 CV inputs. So we've repurposed the I/O to make it a more output-driven and source kind of module, which opens the doors to various other products that wouldn't be possible in the Series 1 configuration. So Toolbox will be shipping in October, and the pricing is $600. Please come to our website, 1010music.com, spelled 1010music.com, and you can learn more and see videos, and thanks very much for the coverage.